Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Micah Parsons makes stunning Giants accusation about Kadarius Toney pick. If New York Giants fans wanted another reason not to get along with Kadarius Toney, Micah Parsons just provided them a beauty. The Dallas Cowboys All-Pro made a stunning accusation concerning conversations he had with the Giants before they selected Toney in the first round of the 2021 NFL Draft. Perennial Pro Bowl pass rusher Parsons revealed all to former NFL cornerback and current CBS Sports analyst Bryant McFadden. Speaking during Media Week at Super Bowl 59, Parsons told McFadden the Giants lied to me. People don't know this. They told me if I fell to 11 that they was going to pick me. When McFadden expressed doubts, Parsons doubled down, "'Cause when the Cowboys traded back, I was like, oh shoot, I'm going to New York." Parsons also admitted the draft snub from Big Blue is why I punish the Giants every time. When he reminded McFadden the Giants traded further back to pick 20 and used it to select disappointing wide receiver Toney, McFadden shot a look of sheer disbelief at the camera. McFadden's incredulous expression makes sense after Parsons has routinely bossed the Giants en route to becoming a four-time Pro Bowler. Meanwhile, Toney is no longer with any team and struggled to get off a practice squad in 2024. Micah Parsons has made the Giants pay. Tuning up the Giants has become a happy habit for Parsons since he entered the pros. The 25-year-old has tallied 4.5 sacks and 13 quarterback hits, second most against any single opponent, to help establish an 8-0 record against the Giants, according to Tyler Sullivan of CBS Sports. Parsons logged 1.5 sacks when the Cowboys beat the Giants on Thanksgiving to complete yet another season sweep. He got to backup quarterback Drew Lock after swatting Evan Neal aside all too easily. Plays like this are the contributions of a true game-wrecker off the edge. That's something the Giants have missed for too long, despite their best attempts to solve the problem. Those attempts included drafting Kayvon Thibodeau, 7th overall, in 2022. He's had his moments, notably an 11.5 sack campaign in his second season, but Thibodeau hasn't been able to match Parsons as a consistent force. Nor has Brian Burns. The veteran Giants general manager Joe Schoen traded 2 draft picks for last offseason. Burns had 8.5 sacks, but he's not forcing offenses to alter their blocking schemes the way Parsons does as somebody who can blitz from multiple spots. Pairing Parsons with an interior menace like All-Pro nose tackle Dexter Lawrence too would have elevated the Giants' defense into the realms of the elite. It's one more what-if moment that makes the decision to trade back and draft Toney tougher to justify. Giants guilty of major draft whiff with Kadarius Toney. The Giants got next to nothing from their investment in Toney. Injuries and poor performance led to him being traded for Darren Waller in 2023, but the Pro Bowl tight end had just one modest season with the Giants before retiring. Toney initially went on to bigger and better when he helped the Kansas City Chiefs win Super Bowl 57. He wasn't shy about trolling his former team on multiple occasions. Jimmy Johnson on a missed three-peat, shoddy hire, Cowboys roster needs, and more New Orleans, as the Kansas City Chiefs tried to become the first team in NFL history to win 3 straight Super Bowls. Former Cowboys head coach and current Fox Sports announcer Jimmy Johnson had an opportunity to accomplish the feat 30 years ago after he won the 1992 and 1993 Super Bowls with Dallas. Instead, Johnson and the Cowboys split ways before the 1994 season after various disagreements between the two. Johnson didn't speak in the hypothetical, but thought that the Cowboys roster that season was special. "It's hard to speculate about what might have been. I know we had an extremely talented team. We had the youngest team in the NFL," Johnson said. "A young team like that is going to only get better, and one thing I've always prided myself in is acquiring talent, and in my opinion, I would have brought in some players. The Cowboys aren't the youngest team in the NFL now, but leaned heavily on their young talent in the 2024 season due to injury and will likely continue to do so going forward. They'll also be looking to a new head coach in Brian Schottenheimer, who Johnson has already reached out to. I wish Brian all the luck in the world," Johnson said. "I texted him the other day and said if there's anything I can ever do, just give me a call." Johnson credited Schottenheimer, who was the offensive coordinator under Mike McCarthy but did not call plays, for his storied past as a coach in the NFL and what he was able to do with constructing strategy each week helped him ultimately land the head coaching job. I think he's an outstanding football coach. He's got a great history as far as being in the league, Johnson said. The other thing is I think Brian was a big part of putting together the game plans with Mike McCarthy, and so I think that had a lot to do with him getting the head coaching job. Schottenheimer also had a lot of support from players on the team, including quarterback Dak Prescott. Johnson believes that Prescott can mesh into Schottenheimer's scheme well, but the most important aspect for him is staying on the field. Number one thing, Dak's got to stay healthy, Johnson said. If he stays healthy, he'll have an opportunity to be an outstanding quarterback, but he's had injuries in the past. From a roster construction standpoint, the Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles have been compared a lot recently in terms of how they've gone about building their respective teams. Both are in different situations in terms of cap and positional need, but share common ground in keeping their best players around. I think every team has got unique problems as far as paying their players, whether or not it be star players or trying to build a roster, Johnson said. Both of them have approached it the right way as far as keeping their great players. When it comes to acquiring the players that Johnson prided himself on, a big box to check during the evaluation process was how much knowledge each prospect had on the game. I wanted smart football players, Johnson said. You look at the very first draft I had at the Dallas Cowboys, we had 4 academic All-Americans. Troy Aikman, Mark Stepnoski, Daryl Johnston, Tony Tolbert. Smart players is one thing, and then obviously they've got to be talented, but playmakers, gym rats, people that love the game, that's what I look for. As the Cowboys look to bounce back from a 7-10 season in 2024, Johnson believes that they'll need to get bigger and better in the trenches if they want to get back to their winning ways. They got to rebuild that offensive line, they had some problems there, but also on the defensive line, Johnson said. That's where a lot of games are won and lost, being able to win in the trenches. Top NFL draft prospect Ashton Jeanty continues plea to Dallas Cowboys. There might not be a more consistent NFL draft connection than the one between the Dallas Cowboys and Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. In the vast majority of mock drafts over the last few weeks, Jeanty is seen as the most logical pick for Dallas both in terms of need and fit. On top of that, he would also likely be the best player available on the board if he is still there when the Cowboys pick at number 12. And as a Frisco native, Jeanty would love nothing more than to return to his hometown team this spring. It would be special, growing up in Frisco, spending a lot of time out there. I think it would be cool to have the star on my helmet again, Jeanty said, via DallasCowboys.com. Playing for Lone Star, I had a star on my helmet as well, so it would be a dope moment if that were to happen. The culture, the history, the city, everything that comes with playing for the Dallas Cowboys, I think would be special. Jeanty, of course, was one of the biggest stars in college football this past season, nearly breaking the all-time single-season rushing record set by Barry Sanders in 1988. He also finished 7th in single-season rushing touchdowns, and the chance to return home and be a part of the Cowboys' rebuild at the beginning of the Brian Schottenheimer era? Nothing would make Jeanty happier. I think it would be dope, a lot of great people there, a lot of talented players, Jeanty said. Potentially to be a part of that, I think that would be a great opportunity. And are you a fan? What do you think of Ashton Jeanty's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.